And I want to reorient ourselves to that conversation, because one of the things that I think we all gleaned is that if we can provide greater visibility into the various pathways that allow students to see honor and dignity into the options that they want to pursue post-graduation, the more likelihood that we can not only connect students to their interests, but ensure that they're experiencing success before it's too late. And that is the spirit of this presentation and the collaborative effort that's happening under the guise of our strategic plan. More specifically, the priority that's outlined as graduating all of our students with various options that are important to them, allowing them to have agency and choice, but being able to actually realize those choices based upon the experiences that they have in PSD. So presenting on this particular topic tonight is our Chief Institutional Effectiveness Officer, Dr. Dwayne Schmitz. We have Tanya Alcaraz, our Director of Career and Innovation. We have Josh Weitzman, our Technology, Engineering, and Trades Education teacher from Poudre High School. And we also have many of our other students that are representing Poudre High School in the PSD community. Welcome to all of you. Really excited to have this conversation with all of you tonight.
Thank you so much, Superintendent Kingsley. I love the way you set the table. It's really great. So this is a very exciting topic. I'm really happy that we're sitting here talking about this tonight. So career-connected learning, pathways, and some related topics, all of which fall within our strategic plan. And we have 3 priorities, as you know: literacy, mental health and belonging, and graduate with options. Tonight we're talking within that space of graduate with options. And we're going to, before I move on, I want to mention that we do have a PSD website that Superintendent Kingsley had mentioned a little earlier this evening that does provide for the public some information regarding our strategic plan. And as we move through time, it'll become more and more populated with timelines and outcomes and various things. At any rate, I just want to point out we have that information, and we are going to drill now down into the Graduate with Options component of that. That's what this update is on. Within Graduate with Options, we have a couple different efforts that PSD is engaged in. The one that we're going to be talking about tonight very directly is our career-connected pathways work and some, like I said, related topics. I just wanted to point out that there are other pieces to the Graduate with Options that we won't highlight as much tonight around middle school. Middle school is kind of onboarding some grading for equity, some absenteeism work, and so on. So they are important parts of the strategic plan and the Graduate with Options, but tonight we're focusing on pathways as our launch point for this update. Okay, so what we're going to see and do tonight is we're going to define career-connected pathways and what those, and kind of describe what those benefits are. Nobody better to do this than the lady sitting to my right, Tanya Alcaraz. She knows so much about this. She's been with us a while. I'm sure quite a few of you have had time with Tanya, so I'm just so thankful she could join us tonight. We're going to then demonstrate the career-connected pathway planning, and that's where we've made a lot of progress in the last couple months and put a lot of energy, and so we'll be talking about that a little bit. We're going to then talk about the importance, after you've got the pathways and you've made some progress there, around the marketing component, the outreach component, the how students and families come to be aware of these options and these possibilities. So we'll talk about that a little bit because efforts have been made there as well. And then we're going to talk a little bit about piloting a digital platform, a single digital platform that we can use for both career exploration, pathways exploration, and for course registration. And right now we really have 2 good options for that. So we're going to talk through a little bit how we're going to narrow that down to a single option in the near future. And that gives you a highlight of what we're going to walk through.
Thank you. Hi, good evening. Thanks for having me tonight. Excited to be with you and to highlight and do an overview of our programs and then go a little bit deeper into a few of the programs that have been developed recently over the last few months. So first, just want to level set a little bit and talk about our programs can tend to feel like some alphabet soup in education. So starting with Career and Technical Education, CTE. In Poudre School District, we have over 18 career and technical education pathways, and our programs start in middle school, where students are exploring, and they're dipping their toe into all of the different career pathway options, so that if that light bulb goes off, they can jump in and go deeper in high school into those pathways. We have career and technical education pathways at our home high schools, and we have a wide variety and a great depth of experience for students to experience at their home high school. And for students that don't have that, we have a designated career campus in the Futures Lab. And that program is accessible to all high school students in Poudre School District. It's a half-day program where students are bused for either a morning or afternoon session. So we're going to look at a few of those pathways that have been developed and are brand new at that Futures Lab program. We're also going to talk a little bit about concurrent enrollment. Concurrent enrollment is how students earn college credit while in high school. It is one of the great equity levers we have for our students to know they can do college while in high school and feel confident and have a Front Range student ID number, know what the system is like. Concurrent enrollment supports our students in making that transition, whether it is to a 2-year, 4-year military or into the workforce. So we'll highlight a few programs. Again, alphabet soup, we have the Ascent program, accelerating students through concurrent enrollment. That's a 5th-year program that's tuition-free. This year we have 187 PSD students that are at Front Range and Ames Community College, tuition, books, and fees paid for. Many of those students are working towards an associate's degree to transfer to a 4-year. Others are working towards programs like an automotive degree or EMT certificate. Also in PSD, the associate's degree pathway. So students can earn an associate degree while in high school. We're going to highlight that and how that's connected to career pathways. And then tonight we have some student guests here from our JROTC program, brand new. It's housed at Poudre High School, but it is open to all students in Poudre School District, and dig a little deeper into that military pathway option. All of these pathways include, and what we want to demonstrate is they all include work-based learning experiences. They all include an option for students to earn some sort of industry certification or college credit as they're exploring careers.
Thanks, Tanya. Okay. So what are the benefits? There's benefits for students, there's benefits for families, there's benefits for the community. And so I've got bulleted out there just a list of things that folks can take a look at. But the reality is it's about student engagement. It's about supporting kids towards the future that they want. A lot of young people do know kind of where they want to go and how they want to get there. And they really just want our support, and they want the flexibility and sort of the respect, if you will, and the student agency to pursue those things, whatever those things are. And when we provide that, which we are providing that, Poudre School District has one of the highest rates of career tech ed engagement statewide. We've been a leader in that. And I'd like to say we're just getting started, because I think this is a big push through middle school and high school nationwide, statewide, and PSD are leaders, and we want to remain leaders in this space. And so really the bottom line is when a student's going to school and they know that what they're doing is going to result in a credential, is going to result in a 5th, maybe even a 6th year of schooling that's actually free and at the college level, engagement goes up, saves mom and dad, families, and students money, helps students stay engaged, absences go down, engagement goes up, achievement growth, everything moves in the right direction when students are engaged walking into school every day. And that's what these programs are about. Moms and dads, I'm a parent of 3 kids, get to have richer conversations with their kids about what they're doing at school and how it's aligned to where they're going, and it kind of gets you a little more involved, gives you a pathway or an entry point to rich conversations with your kids about their future and what they're doing, why they're doing it. That's really what the benefits are. There's financial benefits, there's engagement benefits, there's achievement benefits, and so on. To demonstrate that a little bit, just concretely, there's a lot of data points we could cherry pick, but we're going to move this conversation along a little bit. but one we chose to kind of highlight is we just got done talking about graduation rates for students that are supported with an IEP. And so now we're looking at a little bit of data around graduation rates for students who are what we call concentrators in career tech ed. It means, if I remember this correctly, they've had 4 or more courses. Yes, 4 or more courses in CTE, so they're concentrators, they're kind of involved, they're invested. The graduation rates for students that meet that criteria, of which there's 1,258, it's not a small amount, in 2021-22, their graduation rates were at 98%. That's much higher than our district overall rate. For students that are English language learners, that was 100% graduation rate. For students supported with an IEP and our concentrators, that graduation rate is 72%. One of the directors asked earlier, how do we close that 10% gap? And I said, some of the things we talked about earlier will make a small bump, no doubt. But the bigger bump comes from student engagement. And this is what I'm referring to. So free reduced lunch students that are concentrators, 97% graduation rate. That's much, much higher than our regular free reduced lunch rate. And GT is 100%. So how do we get there?
Great. So what you're looking at the screen right now is historically how a student and a parent might think about high school and how to plan high school out. And you can see on the left side, those are our graduation requirements. So how many credits do you need to earn in each bucket over 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th grade year to fulfill the 240 credits. So we're looking at this as a template and a guide, and we're looking at scaffolding over the top of this, more of a career-connected plan to help our parents and families who maybe have a freshman that they know, I want to be a future teacher, or they know they already have an interest in learning more about the military. What could a more detailed plan look like, and how can we provide that support? We have heard loudly from our community, our students, our parents, our families, that there's not awareness of all of these options in our system. We have amazing options. You're going to hear kids talk about it. We've got to do a better job of helping our community break that down into bite-sized pieces so that they can jump in and lean in at different points throughout their academic journey. So that leads us to some samples that a really talented group of counselors, teachers, and industry partners collaborated on to look at some career and academic plans that can be a resource. It's just a resource guide to our parents, to our students, and our counselors, so that if this is an interest or a pathway, you can see the next step. It doesn't lock any of our students into this pathway. Students change their minds all the time, which is A-OK. So this pathway, I'm just going to take a little bit of time to orient all of us to what this pathway is. Along the left side, we have those graduation requirements similar to the other template. We've got 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade across the top. But we also have another column because now education in Poudre School District is P20. It's not K-12. And so we've got to show that continuum for our students.
Tanya, that was a great comment. Will you educate the community on what the term P20 means?
Yes.
Thanks.
P20, preschool through age 20. So our students that are headed into that community college. Thank you. So you'll see those graduation requirements, and then you'll see the blue shaded column that's related to the career pathway, or the row related to the pathway. Any of those courses that are in bold and blue mean that college credit is awarded for those courses. And then down at the bottom, aligning those work-based learning, industry certifications, and degrees, so that those are also aligned with that community college connection. So this is a brand new pathway launching January 2024. Behavioral health pathway at the Futures Lab in partnership with Summit Stone. And we've got a teacher ready to roll, and students signed up to start in January in the Intro to Behavioral Health class, where they'll earn 5 credits in Poudre School District, and they'll earn 3 credits through community college and start that pathway towards a career in behavioral health tech, if that's where they land. So you'll see the certifications, you'll see the associate degree, and then in that last column, the Ascent program, which we touched on already. That's that 5th year tuition, books, and fees paid for by Poudre School District. So students that want to continue on can continue on either at Front Range, or the Community College of Aurora has a great behavioral health pathway for those students to jump into. So our intent with these is to have these available in counseling offices, to have these available on our website, so that parents and families can download a roadmap to help them get to their hopes, their dreams, and achieve their goals. The next pathway, I'm not going to go as far into as much detail into this pathway, but we chose the education pathway because we need future educators. We also have a brand new program that came from the Colorado Department of Education called TREP, Teacher Recruitment Education Program. That program provides a 5th and 6th year free for our students. We currently have 13 students in the TREP program at Metro State and Front Range Community College. So we have a cohort of 5 students in the 5th year right now, and we have a cohort of 6 students in the 6th year. They'll be graduating with their associate's degree. One of our students will be transferring to UNC. Yeah. The next pathway is an exciting one for Poudre School District. We had JROTC many years ago, and it's back. And this fall was the first cohort of students, and we got some students here to speak about this pathway. And again, it's all 4 years. Students have embedded college credit. They have embedded, they're meeting the graduation requirements. And then at the end of their senior year, they have a lot of choice, whether that's to continue into an ROTC program at a 4-year college. They can also continue into the Ascent program, military academy, or enlistment. The next pathway is automotive. Again, super exciting. This is launching in Poudre School District this spring. We have 32 students signed up for the automotive program. And this is through the Futures Lab. So we're showing a scope and sequence. What would a freshman take, junior or sophomore, and then junior year, how you can engage in the Futures Lab, continue on. It's articulated through Front Range Community College to get to that certificate level. All the while, students will be earning their ASE certification and participating in work-based learning experiences. Currently, PSD is one of those partners. We have a student who is employed in PSD in our transportation program, and we're looking to expand that as well. And the last one, I'm going to turn over to Josh Weissman, who is our amazing P-TECH teacher. He's done a lot of work to get this program off the ground and is really passionate about it. And again, another program that allows for that 5th and 6th year for a student to have that college tuition paid for. So Josh, I'm going to turn this one over to you.
Thank you, Tanya. Thanks for giving us the opportunity to speak tonight. I'm really passionate about career-connected learning. The pathway model, I think the data is pretty compelling. The student engagement goes up, student performance, student outcomes. It's just too good to pass up. So the P-TECH is another alphabet soup, another acronym started by IBM in collaboration with the New York City School District to try and give student options and try and fill a talent pipeline in computer coding and cybersecurity. We follow the P-TECH model is now international, and we've adopted that model focusing on advanced manufacturing, because according to the Department of Labor, manufacturing is the #2 most key industry in northern Colorado. What's #1? beer. I was going to say that. It's healthcare.
Healthcare.
That's a good guess.
PTEC is an acronym. It stands for Pathways in Technology, Early College, High School. And each one of those words is meaningful. We're trying to give students a pathway. We're trying to give them a focus, kind of like a major, but it's got easy on-ramps and off-ramps. Students don't have to make a decision and choose that for life. We're using technology because it's powerful, and that's what I teach. And students grab early college credit, and that is so meaningful. We take students who college may not even be on their radar, and we demonstrate that they can have early college success. So if they want to exit high school, they can go right to the workforce. They can continue developing their academic career, get an associate degree, or transfer to a four-year institution. And I don't want to talk more about it. I'd like to introduce two students we brought with you. Mr. Cody Bradley is a junior currently at Poudre High School in the PTEC program. Cody, would you come on up for a second?
I'm Cody Bradley. I'm a junior at Poudre High School. I was made aware of PTEC as a freshman. I wanted to get like a hands-on learning and everything, and then was accepted into the program. Went through some nice CAD training with Mr. Wiseman right here. Spent a good amount of time doing that. But the main reason I really enjoyed it is the opportunities it takes me out to in the world. I actually got an internship at Woodward through the program, and that itself is a really cool opportunity to just be working for that. There is a couple of things that would be nice if there was a little bit more consolidation on getting through some of the key requirements for the high school part of it. My freshman year, I was pretty ahead of the curve as far as high school credits, which was really cool because then we had the college credits that I could take up. But there was a lot that I felt like I could have taken at the same time together to kind of knock out both of them and be able to finish my program faster. So at the end of it, we get an associate's degree, that's the hope at least, an associate's degree in advanced manufacturing, which is what I'm excited for. It's what I'm looking to go into after high school. So, thank you.
Can I jump in for a second here? Mr. Bradley works at Woodward, a proud partner with our PTEC program, along with Front Range and PSD. And I'm not going to embarrass Cody to tell him, as a ninth grader, sometimes his attendance suffered a little bit. There were some issues there. But right now, his supervisors are so impressed with his work ethic. And what time you got to be at work?
I'm there at 5 in the morning, and then I come to school.
What time do you get up to get to work at 5?
3:45 makes me feel comfortable getting up, getting to work.
So I got a young man that sometimes struggled with attendance in getting to school at 8:50, and here he is getting up at 3:30 in the morning to make it to his job, which is connected through his school, and that's part of the power of career-connected learning. Thank you, Cody. Hang around. Hey, we got Zoe Hauk coming up. Zoe is a sophomore at Poudre High School.
Yeah, I joined the PTEC program because I've wanted to become an engineer for a while, and I feel like this program will really help set me up for success by learning about the manufacturing field ahead of time. So I know everything that I would need to know to get a head start when I transfer to a four-year university, so I can get into the workforce quicker and start making money much quicker. What I really like about the PTEC program is most of the classes I'm taking, I can see how they connect to real-world applications and how I can use the skill in a future job. And as Cody was saying, the consolidation of some classes, such as having to take economics and personal finance, it's a bit excessive, whereas they could just be combined into one class, allowing us to take more engineering classes and finishing the program faster.
And I want to conclude with that point that Zoe just made as well. Thank you, Zoe. We've got two students here that represent a pretty broad spectrum of student pathways. Cody, do you love school? I think it's pretty fair to say that he doesn't all the time. but he's connected with a potential high wage earning potential, connected through his schooling with a local employer that is gonna allow him to walk across that stage in May of 25 and graduate with some serious wage earning potential to go straight to the workforce or continue on his college career if he so chooses. It's going to give him a real chance to really graduate with some very authentic options thanks to the power of this career-connected learning. At the same time, in the same program, Zoe said she's wanted to be an engineer since she's been in 3rd grade. I feel like this pathway, all the best engineers that I know have a strong background in actual materials handling, machining, and materials science, not just textbook learning or simulations. The beauty of the P-TECH program is we introduce Zoe to actual real engineers doing real engineering, where I have a lot of students who graduate from Poudre High School who say they're going to be engineers who've never taken any of my classes. And they do that because they don't have the flexibility in their schedule. They would like to take machining. They'd like to learn how to weld. Every human should know how to weld. It's not that hard. But they can't do it because they can't fit it in their schedule. By allowing Zoe to partake in the P-TECH program, we're going to graduate a pre-engineering student who's going to be a really high-value recruit to any engineering school because of her background in the machine shop. And that is a powerful option for that career-connected learning. Thank you, students, for being here.
Thank you so much. Sincerely. So awesome. Junior Rossi?
Yes. All right. Next, we have some students here from the JROTC program. I'm going to have Ella Estevez come on up. She's in 12th grade at Poudre High School. And then also here, supporting Ella, is Claire Tombaugh. She's a junior at Fort Collins High School. And Maria Minya Montoya is in 12th grade at Poudre High School. All right, Ella. I'm going to turn it over to you to share with the group about your experience this fall in the JROTC program. Thanks for being here.
Alrighty. Hi, I'm Ella Steves. Hi, I'm Ella Steves. I'm a 12th grader at Poudre, and I am in the JROTC program. It started this August, but like you said, it was here before, but now it's back. Junior ROTC was brought back to teach kids leadership skills, public speaking skills, and just community. I attend this class every day, and I get to see all of my fellow cadets, and we have a total of 16 cadets, and we have 4 schools to represent in our class. Our motto is to motivate young people to be better citizens. I think they're doing pretty good. Why I joined was in my senior year, I had a lot of free time, and it was pretty much just core classes that I was doing, and I wanted to do more to fill my schedule than just coming to school, doing core classes, and then going home. So I went down to the Futures Lab. I looked at aviation, I looked at everything they had to offer. Didn't really speak to me that much because it narrowed in on something, but I heard a teacher talking about JROTC upstairs. Went upstairs, talked to the teacher, and he discussed with me they're looking for people to join his class. I learned more about it, and I immediately went to my counselor and I signed up for JROTC. Moved around a few things, all worked out. I'm able to graduate in December. What has impacted me the most about this class is attendance and grades, and I see it in my fellow cadets. I used to be a C and D kid, just doing enough to get by, enough to get the diploma, get out of here. My attendance was very poor through my other 3 years, and when I joined ROTC, my grades, most of them were high A's, high B's, and my attendance was a very common thing. the structure and the environment and the want to be in class was very strong. And public speaking, that was a huge thing I learned. I wouldn't have been able to do this last year. The two cadets that I brought along with me, Maria and Claire, I've seen huge growth with them. Maria I've known since elementary school. She's grown so much. I'm so proud of her. With Claire, I just met her this August, and we've grown so close through JROTC that we hang out outside of school, within class. We talk regularly, check up on each other. And we have this amazing opportunity to grow closer between all of the cadets. It's pretty much all I have to say, but I thank you guys so much for the opportunity for me to attend this class. It just changed a lot about me. I'm very excited to see how far it goes.
That's awesome. Thank you. All right, it's back to you. You're good. Okay.
Hey, before we go on, I would really like to thank the students who showed up tonight to talk to us and tell us your stories and share your stories with us. I think I speak for everybody on the board, like, this is the thing that touches us the most. It kind of fills our tank, makes us feel really good. I'm so proud of all of you and the things that you've done, and I know you're all going really great places. You're gonna excel in life. Thank you for sharing your stories.
Before we continue, I also wonder if we should let Cody go to sleep. He's about to get up in a couple hours. But to echo Director Reed's commentary, you make us so proud to see you shine, just lean into your light and your joy and your purpose through school and through connection, not just the way that you were talking about each other, not just your pathways, was something that I think collectively touched this entire community's heart. So just really, we're really proud of you.
Okay, so powerful, right? So powerful. So the next question is, how do we share this with more families? How do we share this with more students and get more teachers involved, frankly, in this process? Because this is where middle through high school education is heading, right? It's about student agency. It's about economic mobility for some. It's about credentials and having some flexibility in our scheduling and our requirements to allow students to pursue these interests and passions, right? So how do we share this? We've made some progress in that regard too. Have a good evening, everybody. From our hearts, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for
That-
giving us the opportunity.
Absolutely, that was very impactful. Kathy, thank you too. I want to just thank Kathy McKay as well. Building such programs, bringing in those Wapouter High School students. Just thank you, Kathy, for everything you do. Great leader. Okay, so the next stage of this presentation is how do we share this information, right? How do we make an easy button so more people can tap into these opportunities? So we have a Future Ready website. We're going to talk about a few different tiers, so it's not the only answer, it's part of the answer. But the Future Ready website has been around for a bit. It's gone under some revisions. It will continue to go under revisions. It's going to be an iterative process. We'll see in a second. We're gathering feedback. We're making changes. But right now, live for PSD, when you click into this website, and you can click and choose the high school that you're attending currently, because these offerings, Career Tech Ed and Career Connected Learning and Pathways, they exist at all of our high schools. It is not just at Poudre High School. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, some of the other high schools have more students involved in Career Tech Ed, right? So it's not just concentrated at Poudre High School, just to be super clear. When you get onto the Future Ready website, a parent, a student, you click the school that you're attending, that drop-down list of the dark blue buttons on the right will populate with the pathways that are available to get engaged in at that school. when you click one of those pathways, it opens up a lot of information to connect you into what we just heard from students. How do I get started? Because I'm ready to get going, right? Originally, we wanted to take you on a tour of the website tonight, but we're not going to do that for time's sake, and it is getting late, so I'm going to move along, okay? The next slide is just to remind us that Tanya and her team that get a lot of credit for this work, in collaboration with others, they're gathering feedback. They visited with the DAC. They're going out and gathering this information from different groups that we work with, and this will continue. And so that's a real QR code. If you were to take a picture of that and click it, you would be able to go in and give us some feedback on that website.
Yeah. The next layer to the website as part of the branding, so that our parents, families, community know where to go to find these options, is to have a public-facing space. And we have a brand-new space that's just opened in the Foothills Mall. And this space is a future-ready center, so a space where our parents, families, and even our staff members come for professional development to learn about all of the options available. But in addition to that, it's also a welcome center. In partnership with the City of Fort Collins, all of our newcomers, this is their first stop in town. And they have support there with a digital literacy liaison to help them understand what resources are available to them, not only in Poudre School District, but in the City of Fort Collins. It's been a beautiful partnership. Watching the level of support that our community is getting. It's also a partnership center. We can't do this on our own. We need Woodward. We need Poudre School District to employ our students. And so the more opportunities that we have in partnership to not only support our students with work-based learning experiences, but to help fund these opportunities so that students can access these opportunities is another primary goal of this space. And one of the coolest things I've seen lately is on Fridays, our Transition Pathways students, they have Future Ready Fridays, and they come over from 1 to 3, and they're learning workforce and workforce development skills, resumes, and they get to use a space in the community. And it's a really, really cool opportunity. So come check out Future Ready Fridays between 1 and 3. Oh, yeah. And then the next component or the next layer in working with our communications team is to have a high school planning guide that has all of this information and resources that we can distribute. So website, a physical space, and then in print. A physical print guide.
Okay, so that's some of the efforts that are underway in this update around graduating with options to get the word out about the pathways and the opportunities that are available. So we also are looking at career exploration through the registration process. So we have students who get shoulder tapped by teachers, by counselors, and that's how they often hear about opportunities. We heard from students earlier tonight in the dinner session. We heard it again here. Students often hear about things from other students. So the shoulder tapping component, right? But there's also this digital exploration, this digital platform exploration that's available through Zello. Recently, Synergy, another data system we use for lots of purposes in PSD, has some additional capabilities. And those additional capabilities start to allow it to potentially do things that are similar to what we're used to thinking of Zello as doing, which is really allowing students and families to explore pathways and the courses that they would take and what those courses would lead to. So what we're going to do in Poudre School District this registration cycle is we are going to pilot a study using both of those digital platforms at each of the schools on a small number of students to gather some input, some feedback, and test their capabilities. And then moving forward, we're going to be moving as a district to one platform or the other. We heard again earlier tonight in the dinner session from some students, a different set of students, how the registration and exploration processes vary from school to school. As a district, we want to move towards a single digital platform We want to move that experience of exploring your career possibilities into our schools in a more concrete fashion, and then give the students and the families the tools to do that, which is going to increase the number of students connecting to these career opportunities. And so you can see where we're going with this. We're moving on all fronts to just message and make available the types of great outcomes and opportunities that we just heard students tell us about. That's what we're doing. Okay, before I close this off, and I will mention again that we're going to now dial back out and remind everybody we're talking about the strategic plan with 3 big priorities. Tonight we kind of drilled into graduating with options as an update, and within graduating with options we drilled into pathways, and I think you can see why. It's a very powerful presentation in my opinion. There is other work also happening right now in the graduating with options, but this is what we're going to update you on tonight. I want to mention that my friend next to me here, Josh, who I don't see often enough, if I'm not mistaken, Josh, we ran into each other my very first day as a PSD employee. I think I only met a handful of teachers that day. Josh is one that really stands out and I remember, and the reason I remember Josh is because personally for me, I grew up lower income, but I did grow up in a family where auto mechanic skills were kind of the norm, and we fixed stuff, right? So I tinkered and I fixed and I learned. Well, those automotive skills were enhanced through a program at the Belen High School where I went to high school. All those years, I did all the automotive classes, and we had great shops and great teachers. I went into state and national competitions and won some of them for automotive type of stuff. And so that was a big way in which I paid for my college, which lands me here in front of you fine people all these years later. So when I met Josh, we connected that day pretty quickly on this kind of shared experience with trades, if you will. And as I look back all these years later, I feel I've had a really good career at PSD. I know for a fact you feel the same. And when I look at what Josh has accomplished, and I look at what I've accomplished, he's accomplished more. You have. And I've had a big and great career here in PSD, but what Josh has accomplished, you will only appreciate if you take a tour at Poudre High School and walk through that area. It is amazing. It is mind-blowing. And this partnership with Woodward is real. And the equipment and the shop and the plans and what you do with kids is just incredible. And Kathy, again, tip of hat to Kathy, because that kind of great teacher leadership doesn't happen without great building leadership, right? It's a definite partnership. And then you throw Tanya in the mix at the district level, and you've got a perfect storm for just great things for kids. And all we have to do as a leadership group is figure out with our community partners how to elevate and amplify this work. We have got to spread this work. It has to grow. And that is what we'll conclude with and go to questions.
Does anybody from the board have comments or questions?
It's amazing.
Looks like Carolyn.
So I would just like to say that since I've been on the board, this has always been a priority for me. Kathy and I have talked about this from, I think, day one when I first got on the board and first met her, about what this could look like and what this could be. And seeing here almost 10 years later, seeing this come together and seeing all of the community connections and the partnerships, I'm just really blown away. I mean, it's taken us a little while to get here, but wow, we're here, and it looks wonderful. And you're right, Dwayne, we've got to grow this, and we've got to get the information out there. It's just, I congratulate you all for the work you've done. And Josh, I just love your exuberance. Really, it's just infectious. Thank you for coming here and talking to us tonight, everybody. Thank you for all that you do for our students.
Well said, Carolyn. Other comments, questions? You want to say something, Kristen?
Yeah,
Go
if I
ahead.
can. Yeah, no, just thank you. I'm going to try and come by on Friday and see, and then I want to go ahead and set up a walkthrough with you, Josh, so I'm excited about that. It is amazing. I wish it was something that we had when I was in high school. One of the things that I love about that you've talked about is the easy on-ramp, easy off-ramp, because I think that's so important for students who are thinking about, I want to try something, and then half the part of learning about something is if you don't like it, and that's a win. I can eliminate that. I'm not going to do that. I wish I had done that as an engineer before my third year of engineering school, and yeah, exactly, and a lot of money. So it would have been great for me to be able to do that. I think a lot of students are going to find that really accessible to get on, try something. Okay, that wasn't for me. It wasn't what I thought it was. Let me try something new. And can I try, when I try that, is that something that is speaking to me? As Ella said, this is something that really spoke to me, and that's what we need. So thank you so much for doing this. I can't wait to get this out into the community and let people know how to access this, let the students know how to access this, let the parents know, and it's going to be fabulous.
Thanks, Kristen. I'm inspired by what you said to share a little bit here. I think one of the things that I had 2 kids come through the system here in PSD for most of their school careers. And as a parent, I had a particular model in my mind of what it means to be successful in school. And one of the things I've learned being on the board and volunteering in the school district for the years that I have is that model in my head was way the heck too limiting, frankly. And there are so many ways to success, and the programs that you've talked about today are super important elements of that. And we really appreciate the fact that you're sharing them with us here tonight, and more importantly, that you're finding ways to share them more broadly, as Carolyn was talking about, with our students and with our parents, because I suspect I'm not the only parent who has fixed ideas, we'll call it that, about what success looks like. And sometimes those align with what our children, our students, actually want, and sometimes they don't. And it's important that both the parents and the students recognize the plethora of options that are there. So thank you very much. Anything else from the board? Well, it looks like DJ wants to say something.
Yeah, Kristen inspired me too. One of my wonderings, because I've had an opportunity to tour some other CTE buildings in other districts here last year, and CNRs, and you guys mentioned a little bit about being at all the high schools, and one of the things that I have a real wondering if it would help and would open eyes for more students is if we had a capability of giving quarter classes in every high school of stuff that's the higher level is going to be at the Futures Lab because we have all the equipment or such. And some things we can do them at all the high schools, but one of the things when I was touring was how many students they were bringing in, and this was for manufacturing, and a lot of these students were talking about how they really hadn't had tools in their hand before. And I know my experience of wiring, so network wiring, but electric wiring and stuff. When I first got in and got my hands on it, it changed my view of how it was done and what my possibilities could be. And so I just want to throw that out there that I just think it would be awesome if we could get to a spot where all of our high schools maybe didn't offer that the first year, but at least that taste in all of those. And, the other one is the automotive one, which when I did grow, back in my day, we did have small engines in our high school that, we did lawnmower stuff. And you get a little bit taste of that too. And I think Cody, and I can't remember her name, but talking about combining classes and having opportunities in other classes, I think that is really important. And I wonder if we have ways of giving these students tastes of these different pathways in little chunks, so that it's only a quarter or something. So it's the on-ramp, off-ramp that Kristen was talking about that I just think is so vital in doing that. So it's just a wondering that's gone through my head, and I have an opportunity to share it, so I'm going to share it. But thank you for all that you guys are doing. I think it is fantastic.
Did you want to comment on that? Go ahead.
No, I think we are in complete alignment. Josh is shaking his head as well. All of the pathways, when you look at the Future Ready website, start with an introduction exploratory course. So principles of construction, principles of manufacturing, and principles of engineering are 3 courses that are offered at every high school, and that's where you dip your toe in. And so then there's a few more courses to go deeper at the home high school. But then if you figure out automotive, HVAC, or building trades, electrical is for you, that's when we're looking to hop over to the Futures Lab or Front Range Community College or Ames Community College in those partnerships. So agreed. Yep.
Awesome, thanks for clarifying that.
Other comments or questions from the board? Look. No, absolutely. Go ahead, Brian.
I just want to thank you. I'm inspired. You lit a fire in my heart and my mind to kind of keep moving this train forward in the ways that you all see fit, because you truly are the experts and you are so well positioned to figure out how to scale this thoughtfully based upon how you're collaborating with each other. And you know, as you participate in the action team work through the lens of the strategic plan, another win that's not necessarily explicit here is you're bringing the priority of graduating with option into focus. You're giving it meaning. You're ensuring that we're not lowering the integrity of our standard diploma, that we're actually elevating it by trying to figure out ways to provide more visibility and more access to career-connected learning. And I couldn't be more proud to be a partner in this work with all of you. So thank you. And if you get a chance, members of the board, members of the community, Josh is one heck of a TED Talk speaker. When I first joined this community a couple of years ago, his proud principal, Ms. McKay, shared a video of him doing on Mountain Avenue, the TED Talk experience, which inspired me then, and you inspire me now. And I'm really glad that you're a part of our team.